Hey guys, welcome back to Big Stony Homestead. Today we're going to do a review of the Kawasaki Mule FXT Pro Ranch Edition. We're going to talk about some of our likes and dislikes. This is about a 3-4 month review since we bought it, and we're also going to discuss a little bit more on why we went with the Mule versus other brands such as Polaris and John Deere and Kubota. One of the main things we looked for when we was purchasing a side-by-side was, with a family of 6, we had to have plenty of room for everybody. So the double bench seats, crew cab was a necessity. Also, one of the things with working on the farm, we needed the seats to be able to lay down and come forward to give us a full bed space like that. And also be able to keep up if we wanted to take off riding with friends on trails and things like that on the weekends. So we sat down and went through and reviewed all the side-by-sides, and this is kind of what we come up with. This is a 812cc. Its top speed is 45 miles an hour. We've had it a little over 35 pretty easily. We haven't pushed it all the way, but easy enough to keep up with most riding. You're not going to keep up with your actually speed side-by-sides. We understand that. That's not, this is a multi-purpose vehicle. When we looked at the Kubota RTV 1140, the reason we looked at it was the diesel power, and also it had the capability of extending to a full bed if we needed to, but with a 25-mile-an-hour top speed, that ruled that out for the purpose of being able to go riding on the weekends. We also looked at the Kawasaki DXT, the diesel version of this, and same thing with Kubota. It didn't give us a top speed of 30 miles an hour, so you're just going to lag behind with everybody else. We looked at the Polaris Ranger 1000, definitely higher on the top speed, but it didn't give you the option of bringing the seat forward and a full bed, so you had to make a decision if you was a 2-seater or you wanted to be a 4-seater and lose your bed. We also looked at the Gators, and I believe it was the 825 we looked at, and also it didn't give you the option of extending the bed forward, so it's either 2-seater or 4-seater, same way as that. As set up, this machine had an MSRP of around $18,000. Actually the DXT Mule had a little less, maybe around $16,000. The Ranger was around $18,000 stock, but to set it up with everything, with the hard top, the side doors, and the front winch with the extra bumpers and extra lights, was going to push it up near $22,000 MSRP. The Gator also was around $17,000–$18,000 MSRP. So we test drove this one, and that's kind of what we decided to go with. This thing comes stock with poly doors, plastic, shut. They latch good, front and rear. I'll see if I can get you zoomed in and show you how to actually convert this. We'll start off on the far side. In order to convert this, you have one handle here that you pop the latch on your seat. Pop this latch up. Your seat will come forward. It does help to have a second person, but it's not needed, not necessary. Then you re-secure your headache bar latch, and this secures your bed side, and you do the same on the opposite side. So one person can easily move it from single row to double row. Look inside the bed. One major downfall to having it this way is when you want to dump your bed, you actually have to release the roof. It's got a couple rubber clips, and the roof will raise up in order for your bar to clear. If not, the bar will hit it and it will jerk the roof. So that's one big disadvantage that we've seen, just added steps in order to be able to dump. All right, a couple features this comes with. It does have auxiliary ports, 12 volt, and for the rear, anybody you're riding wants to charge phones. On the front, it has your setup for your winch control from inside. It's also set up to control through remote. This one has extra set of LED lights, four-wheel drive, differential lock, 212 volts up front. Alright, this edition also has the added LED lights. You got your different on-off, high beam and low beam. This comes stock with a worn 4,500 pound winch. We have not used the winch yet. This machine has 10 inches of clearance, which puts it right in line with the rest of the machines that we looked at. Some got up to 11, maybe a shade over 11. One of the other big things that got us towards this machine was a 3-year warranty with up to a 3 more additional year, same coverage. So 6 years, you have warranty on the machine. Across the board, most of them was 2,000 pounds towing. The Kubota and the Ranger were a little bit higher on the towing. Also, the overall length, this machine was 135 inches overall, whereas the Kubota was 142 and the Ranger was 152. So maneuvering in our woods and everything would make that a little bit more difficult trying to turn. All of them had pretty much the same curb weight. The Kubota diesel was about 400 pounds heavier. One of the other things that we've seen that we wasn't a great fan of is it does have engine brake, but you have to keep the gas pedal with a little bit of pressure on it to keep the engine brake. If you let the machine slow down, it will actually go into a free roll. With anybody younger driving, just being able to maintain that and not let it get away from them. We go in full drive on occasion, mostly on the backside of our property where it's steep, and after it's rained, the back end it doesn't weigh as much, so it will kick loose in two-wheel drive, so we will run four-wheel drive, but it has performed very well.